What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Chicken Bone Alley, brought to you by SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, and Profab Headers and Exhausts. What's going on? I'm David.
I'm Connor.
What's up, man?
We've had a lot of racing since we've last had a show. So, last weekend was really busy for us.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was good, and it's kind of calmed down a little bit this week. But we've had a busy little week here.
Dude, I'm telling you, I've been wide open. I told my wife today, I was like, I feel like I haven't caught up with sleep for like a week now. It's something else, but nah, it's all good. How's school going and all that fun
Pretty good
stuff?
so far. No complaints.
Good deal. I was looking at it the other day, and I was Landon, like, I already got his interim reports. And I was like, man,
Yeah.
I feel like y'all just started like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Some of these 8-week classes I have are already, it's getting stuff about finals and stuff. So
Really?
yeah.
Jeez. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess.
Right.
Well, like Connor said, we had a lot of racing over Labor Day weekend. We wasn't here because we were at the racetrack.
Yeah.
Got a lot to talk about there. We'll just kind of breeze through the little parts real quick. I figured it up. I was at the track. I was at Florence Motor Speedway Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Darlington Sunday, Dillon Monday.
Wow.
5 days in a row I was at a racetrack.
Yeah, I was. I guess I didn't quite beat you. I was at Dillon Friday. Went to Columbia to watch the Gamecocks Saturday. Sunday, went over there, tested again, and Darlington. And the Monday we raced.
He was going as well.
Both of us were all over the place.
Man, it was a lot. Go back and talk about Florence real quick. I guess we'll kind of go in order. If not, I'll get all messed up.
Yeah.
Florence Motor Speedway Thursday night, before Labor Day, we had a little. I was invited over by the track to kind of interview some people and stuff like that. Preceding the Cars Tour race over there, which was a really good race, really good time, all that fun stuff. So we went over there, had let's see who we had on. We had Connor Hall, Donovan Strauss. I can't remember who else all was on there with us. But anyway, me and announcer from Florence Motor Speedway, our buddy Terry Radford, were both on there and hanging out and having a lot of fun. It was a long night. Our buddy Skylar Whitfield came by, sat in with us for a little while, talked on the show for a little while, and then he played a long set afterwards up until about 10 o'clock that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was there a long time that day. long time. And then got back out there Friday for some Cars Tour racing and some. Well, we had there was Legends, there was Bandoleros and Allison Legacy Series, and then part of, in my opinion, I may be a little biased, but one of the best parts of the whole weekend, as far as that show with the Cars Tour. Cars Tour put on a great race as always, which was a little better to me with the F45, but we'll get into that. The pre-race for the show, for the Cars Tour race, man, Steve Zacharias and his whole family over there, man, they love to put on production. Mm-hmm. And I was able to help in it some, and my good friends from over at Rise Aero here in Florence and Hartsville, where we took the Legend car out, or both cars out the other week, and raced the airplane and all that fun stuff. They were able to come out to Florence. Well, they flew over Florence Motor Speedway for a pre-race flyby.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool.
Was it during the national anthem or just kind of?
It was right after.
Right after. That's what I thought from the video.
Yeah, it
not bad for not getting to rehearse timing and everything.
Exactly. So it turned out great. Actually, it was perfect because we wanted it right at the end, and we were worried about being right at the very end of the national anthem. But then what I was getting at with the pre-race, they had a stage built on a trailer with LED screens and all this stuff, doing the driver intros, and had whenever a driver came out, they had their picture on it.
I saw they had the wrong Landon Huffman. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It was Landon S. Huffman.
Yeah,
there's our buddy Mark DeFields from Rise Arrow right there. Man, we definitely appreciate y'all. That was a highlight of the night. From everybody over there loved it. Man, it was something else. It was they tore down that we're tearing down the screen in the trailer, pulling all that, and then their flyby came over, so it kind of took attention away from that. It was just perfect timing, worked out great. It was so cool. And so then we got into the racing. They had the pro late models and the late model stocks. You guys seen any races in Canada before? I've watched a little bit of the what's it called, the Pinty series? Yeah, I've watched some of that.
I've seen some of those too.
Yeah, so
they get a little rough sometimes.
Man, they probably beat more than guys down here sometimes. It's crazy. The pro late models, that was a pretty good race. Kevin Harvick on hand, racing his first time in the Cars Tour pro late models at Florence Motor Speedway. I think that was his first time racing at Florence Motor Speedway, period. Was it? I believe so. I think he ended up like sixth. Cameron Bolin had got a ride. After he kind of tore up his late model stock, he got a ride in Connor Jones's family's car. He ended up finishing fifth in it, first race out with them. So that was pretty cool. It was just a good race. It ended up being a what's the difference in a pro late model and a super late model? I've asked that question many times. Not much. I think pretty much all different.
Motor packages,
motor
stuff,
package,
right?
Motor and carburetor package. Car is exactly the same. And I think maybe there might be some shock rules. Maybe I know at certain tracks there's shock rules on pro late models where there isn't on super late models. I'm not sure with the cars.
I think pros are trying to be not quite as expensive as full-blown supers. Exactly.
So, in all honesty, not much. I know a lot of them run. The pro late models in the Cars Tour all run crate motor. I think they run a 604.
I think it's a 4, yeah.
604. But at the same time, I know a lot of guys in the past series up north that are super late models who also run a 604, but it's a different carburetor package.
Yeah.
So other than that, not much. I don't believe so. So that was a good race. Late model stocks, all kind of controversy. We had a lot of talk with it about the guys going back to the F45 tire from the ST tires, which it looks like I haven't heard any different. It sounds like they're kind of going to be on that for the rest of the year.
Really?
Just to
the racing with the STs usually wasn't bad. I think it just got to where the tires were too inconsistent at the end that they couldn't match a setup,
They were, but we definitely found out one thing. The STs are faster than the F45s. Pro late models were half a second to a second faster than late model stocks at Florence Motor Speedway.
Which they're usually faster anyway, aren't they?
Sometimes. It just depends. I know a lot of times when they're on the same tire, it's very similar.
Okay.
In my opinion, it should be. A super late model is faster. Yeah. It's always faster, which is always weird to me because, they kind of crown the late model stocks as being the biggest, baddest, and then you look at
That's just what's more popular around here. That's why it's the Premier Series.
Exactly.
Because most tracks, I think the pros are faster than the...
Yeah, they probably are.
If you're running the same tire,
they probably are.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but it can't be... You could tell it was definitely a game of tire strategy because they didn't get any tires. Mm-hmm. It was just, you got that one set for the start of the race, and that was it. And Connor Hall and Brendan Queen started front row. And as soon as the green flag fell, they dropped back to like 10th, 7th, 10th, somewhere between there. They were trying to conserve tire. And it was just a game of when to go. But Mini Tyrell kind of jumped up there. He does it a lot. And I don't blame him, because if you get cautions fall right.
Yeah, it don't matter. Or if you do get spread out enough, they try to go that it takes so long to pass people that it's kind of evened out. I've seen that happen before too.
Exactly. So Mini kind of jumped up there and took the lead for a while. There wasn't a whole lot of cautions in the race. Mm-hmm. But our buddy Matt Cox, he looked like he was just going for it from the word go. Kind of on the same strategy as Mini.
Yeah.
But Matt didn't really fall off, which is probably a testament to he runs at Florence Motor Speedway every week. Kind of knows how hard to push the tire.
They were trying to save a little bit, obviously, but they wanted the track position. It was pretty obvious.
Exactly.
They wanted to be up front.
Exactly. Man, I thought he might have had something for it, but then Ryan Millington come up, and Ryan was fast.
Yeah. And who was it Matt and Butterbeans?
Yeah.
Racing for second?
Yep.
I mean, I feel like maybe one of them could have went and tried them, but they were so close for second they couldn't get clear of each other there.
Yeah, Matt didn't want to. I think Butterbean ended up second, and Matt was third, which is still, man, you get out there with the Cars Tour and run like that, then you're doing good.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I thought the same thing because we were up on top of Chad McCumbie's trailer watching, and I was like, man, I want Matt to get it, but I really think if Matt just let Butterbean go, Butterbean could probably run Ryan down. He looked fast enough, but they just didn't have enough time. He came back. I think he waited a little too late to try to make a charge back through. But it was a good race. It was very, even though it was Cars Tour race, it kind of reminded me of one of our typical Saturday night races at Florence Motor Speedway, which is great.
Yeah, some of them go to the high side and
exactly.
Right. Yeah, it was exciting. It wasn't as many wrecks, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Isabella Robusto, I don't know what all was going on with her.
I can't remember.
She had flat tire.
Oh yeah, that's right. It stopped and then, like caught on fire or something, or not caught on fire, but it was smoking or something.
I don't know what happened. She stopped on the track. And so when she stopped, they held her for like 2 or 3 laps because she stopped on the track to bring out a caution. As soon as she took off from the pit, she took off, made it through turn 1. All of a sudden, something happened in turn 2. Whatever was that? What it was smoking?
Yeah, the car was smoking in turn 2. Yeah, I was watching it on play.
Yeah, she was bailing out of it. I knew that. So I was like, man, she had a rough night. So Ryan Millington ended up winning the Cars Tour race. They're at Florence Motor Speedway, Labor Day weekend. I tried to message him, get him out on here today, and I could never get him. So, is what it is. Sunday, we all decided to go over to Darlington Raceway, the Lady in Black, for the annual Southern 500. Man, that was it was hot.
It was a hot one.
It was a hot one. It was hot all weekend last weekend.
Yeah, I know. The weekend before and last weekend have been pretty good, but that middle weekend where everything was going on was pretty hot.
Yeah, it was rough. I don't know what was going on. Heat wave coming through. And then yesterday we had a high of 76, I think it was. I was like, man, this feels great. Got down there, hung out in the pit some. Went over to the SRI trailer. Went and met up with our friends over at SRI in the infield of Darlington Raceway there. I hung out in the air conditioner for a little while. We went, and I think you said you were at one end because it's about time we met up, or a little bit before we met up. Man, driver intros at Darlington, they're cool. Our buddy Mamba, he does a great job with them. Danny locking me before that. They all do a great job with all that stuff. But they have flamethrower stage things on. Man, I'm going to tell you what. Every time that thing shot off.
Yeah, I felt that was you could just feel the heat, and I was like towards the back of the crowd, just kind of walking by, and the heat. Yeah, they need to change that to smoke or something.
I'm telling you,
it was
that's
already
what I said.
hot.
Y'all need like them CO2 machines
Yeah.
with the smoke. Forget that fire stuff in Labor Day weekend. That was too hot. It was something else. But we got to hang out there. I made it through. I went and hung out in turn one most of the race. I know y'all went up in the stands, didn't you?
Yeah, and I will say, I know they announce a sellout every year, but this year looked one of the fullest it's been in a while. It was a pretty good crowd. But yeah, we watched stage one down there with y'all, and then we went up there in the stands just so we could kind of see what all was going on.
Yeah, I thought about going up there. I was about.
Yeah, we should have told you we had some seats in front of us that were.
And I was like, I'm gonna beat everybody out of here.
Yeah.
And watch this on TV. We made it through about. Well, we started the last stage, made it about 15, 20 laps in or so, and then decided to hit the truck, listen to it, get home, and there were still.
You got to watch all the action. Then.
Yeah, exactly. we got to the house about the time that all the caution started taking place, and it's like, well, it's good timing, I guess.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Chase Briscoe ended up taking home the win there at the Southern 500, which was kind of surprising.
Very surprising.
I was, I thought your boy Kyle,
Yeah, he's
Kyle
about
Busch was going to come up there and
2
take
weeks
it.
in a row. He lost it to somebody who hadn't been there all year, but it was
Hey,
it was good though.
They're running better.
Hey, yeah, at the start of that race, he was dropping anchor. I was like, wow, because the spring race, I was there, he was terrible all day, and so for them to come up and take some tires there a couple times and make some passes, make it exciting, it was good. I wish he'd got one more, but it's still a good. I mean, I'm still glad to see Chase Briscoe win it. I mean,
yeah.
I do like that team.
I was kind of saying,
but it's just
I was
like,
man,
why's it got to be right? Yeah,
I'd like Kyle to win it.
Yeah.
Just to, all of a sudden he's got to win in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, and I ain't trying to down either one of them. I'm really not. And I really like the fact, because I really like Chase Briscoe.
Yeah.
He seems to be a really good guy, and I was just like, man, who do I pull for here?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I was any other time I would have been, really happy to see him win, but it was still a cool story. So
yeah, it was. But at the same time, and we'll talk about this after. I don't know how I feel about it going into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
How that's going. Or still, I mean, we already seen one race, but I don't count Atlanta. Man, that stinks.
As well for Buescher and Bubba Wallace and Chastain, those guys that were
exactly
in on points. And
thought they were good.
The goalpost moved there last 2 weeks in a row, so that was that was interesting.
So we'll talk about that here, but we get to the real excitement. Monday, Dillon Motor Speedway. Connor had a whole lot of racing to do.
Yeah, we did.
What all did you have going on?
We had our Challenger car back over there and drove the Legend car from Matt Grantham there, and ended up running late model race as well. So it was
and the Legend car was supposed to be a twin.
Yeah,
well, it was a twin feature.
It was. I ducked out of the second twin there.
Smart move. Yeah. So anyway, tell us about your day over there before the race started. I looked at I always pull up Race Monitor. And the car seemed pretty fast. Well, other than exhaust falling off first lap on the track.
They started off terrible,
Both cars.
Yeah, the first round of practice with the late model, went out there. No, I'm like, get up to speed lap. All of a sudden, the motor changed tune to a modified. And,
sounded good.
Yeah, but so the exhaust piece had fallen off, and so they were working on that. So I went and hopped the Legend car for its first practice, and about on my get up to speed lap, it shut off. So that was two.
And the brakes wasn't hardly working.
Yeah,
right?
it was not looking good at all. I was wondering if that was a bad omen, if we ought to just...
After y'all blew a tire on the trailer, taking it over there, or had a flat tire, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, no, that was...
That's what your daddy said.
That was sometime this weekend. I can't remember what day it was.
That might have been.
I think it was
Friday going over there.
Yeah, it was Friday. Coming home. Yeah.
Okay, coming home.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, but
just a whole weekend, just crazy stuff.
Yeah, it was like, this ain't looking good. But thankfully, the day ended up turning around pretty quick there.
All right, when you got out there and finally got the practice car, man, you had some fast times off the bat there. And I was actually sitting there with Bill Flynn. I said, Connor's going to be the one to beat today. He said, why do you say that? I showed him that. And I was like,
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
We were pretty good. I mean, we were able to still run some 80s and 90s and really hot weather in the middle of the day, which is pretty good. So I felt the Charger race, I wasn't ever going to let it on, but I felt pretty confident about it as long as we executed and did everything we were supposed to. And we did. Qualified on pole and led every lap and took home the win.
And not just a little bit. I mean, he was straight away a little more ahead. Did you get out there and just ride eventually?
No, I should. They were yelling at me to ride, telling me to back it down, but I was.
Connor said, "No, I want to be sure I got this one."
I had one so long we weren't going to goof this one up. But I wasn't riding. I was running hard, but I wasn't going to make a mistake. I was going. But so that was good. That was really good. We've been needing that. It's been a while, and we had a good car. I mean, it was just a good, smooth race, and glad we finally got back to victory lane there.
I was sitting there. I was like, man, I should have brought mine at that point. I was like, maybe I could have raced with Connor. I don't know if I could have, but maybe.
Come try the coilover setup, man.
I got to. Me and my dad were just talking about it. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to look at the weather this week. And I got to call Chad, and maybe Saturday morning I might ride over to Dillon and put her on track for a little while. See what she'll do. See if we need to change anything. But man, that was good. So the Legend car feature too.
That was honestly the more impressive race to be.
Yeah, starting where you did. It really was. It was something else. I will say Matt did, both of y'all, for whatever reason, qualifying just wasn't good in the Legend car.
And that was I was trying to work in some brakes. I didn't want to, but I don't think I could have made up a whole lot of speed. We don't have as much fire off speed, or just quick lap speed. But I felt like we definitely could race a lot better than we qualified.
Yeah, and Matt ended up he started pole in the B main, and he led every lap of the B main. They had a 20 lap B main. I was like,
I was wondering why they didn't.
Why are we having a 20 lap B main?
7 lap or something?
Yeah. Which put him into A, right where he would have started anyway. But you started, where'd you remember?
Started 17th.
17th?
Yeah,
17th. Worked your way up to
6th. Yeah.
How was that for you there?
We were good for about 5 laps, and then we kind of fell off a little bit. But that worked it to our favor because it kind of just became a slugfest there.
Yeah.
But I was able to, almost every restart, I could pick off 2 or 3 cars, and I just 2 or 3 at a time just worked the way up all the way in the 5th at one point, and ended up running 6th. But and that was, I think, 1 car wrecked. The rest of them were pretty much passed under green, which was it was good. I mean, it turned into a Legends car slugfest like it can sometimes. But
well, the first race was the second race,
But thankfully we avoided narrowly. We almost took out on one of the dirt car restarts that they were pulling. But
Ron actually come out there on the roof. I think it ended up being in the second race that he come out there. And they were talking about somebody was complaining about the starts. Well, somebody that ended up being the winning car, they complained about one of the starts because of where somebody else started at. And Ron actually looked at it, he said, well, your car has been starting 10 car lengths before the start zone.
I was in the 3rd row and I was getting into turn 3 when we were starting, He
said every start, he said, so I'm not going to call him back for the one start where the other car started where you typically have been starting. Yeah. So
we need to get that under control. I understand a little bit, from calling it the 2 before the line, but you got to make an attempt to be to be somewhere
there was
near.
A couple they started like in the center of 3 and 4.
I know, and it was being stupid where they go up and then cut down, and nobody knows how much space to give because that's not how we normally start, and it just created
not
chaos.
dirt track.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's no need to do that. You launch straight up, but we avoided it all, thankfully, and brought it home 6. And I get this feeling sometimes on these twin races that the first one's pretty rough. We just
gonna be worse.
Yeah. So with that, and knowing I was going to run the late model race right after, I decided to sit out the second one. I was content with my work for the first one.
I was spotting for Matt all day, and he ran the second one, and I told him, I was like, it's gonna be a rough one, and we had to fix some stuff from the first race because unfortunately somebody got crossed up in front of him, and when they got crossed up in front of him, he let off, but our buddy Rafe Jubb was right behind him. He just didn't know Matt was letting off then. Just chain reaction. I thought he was going to ramp all the way over Matt's car.
Get him in the air, some air time?
Yeah, I mean, like, he broke the back of Matt's car, like, above the trunk back there. The car was just all the way up on it. I was like, ooh. So, I mean, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't either one of their faults, really. I mean, it's just one of those can't stop. And so we had to. My daddy actually helped him fix some stuff on it, and I don't know. I felt like I was running around all day. Our buddy Andrew Garris for Profab Headers was there with Paisley Lawson. She was racing in Bandoleros for their first time. Her first time on anything bigger than a quarter mile.
Yeah.
She ran third and had a good day over there and ran some good laps, and hope they'll be back. So that was good.
You probably worked harder than you have even when you have a car there.
I worked harder. I was running around a lot.
Those afternoon
I tried that. There was
starts.
I was picking with Chad because I was like, Chad, there's literally one car here for you to work on. He was like, I don't know, do it all my time. So I was over there trying to do a little bit of stuff, and I don't know. You had a lot of help over there.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was fun. Second race, Legend race, I was spotting for Matt there, and it just got wild. I mean, it was just, and it wouldn't, and it was one that people were taking each other out just left and right. Two, the worst part is people were just driving up when they did have a caution. And I know what was happening. They would get a caution and we'd have a restart. Well, we wouldn't make it a lap. And as soon as caution would come out, somebody would go on the inside and pass about 4 cars. And they come around and see the caution. Well, they think they're just in that spot. And that's not how it works. Yeah. You got to go back to your original spot that you were in on the last lap. And they just kept on. I mean, they just jump up there and decide where they wanted to start. And I mean, it was annoying. It was really annoying up there.
Yeah. It was I was kind of in the zone, I guess you would say, getting ready for the other race. I didn't see all that was going on, but I know I saw a lot of caution flags, and I saw a lot of race cars that had bumpers hanging off, and
yeah, there was a few of them. There was one that come in and changed the bumper, and he went to the back and still come out and finished like 5th or something. Matt said he was done with it by that time. Yeah. I don't know. It was interesting. They tore up a lot of cars. Tore up some on the last lap. It's not worth it. I mean, it's not. I mean, I get these guys racing hard, but it's just not worth it. And I'm not downing any tracks. I mean, everybody can look on and see. I'm not downing nobody. We're out there racing literally we're racing a $15,000-$20,000 car, and we're racing for $150 to win. Yeah. And these boys are driving like this.
Yeah. And I get it. I mean, we are having to buy tires now, but we're not buying tires or fuel from the track usually. I guess that's kind of tires are switched up now, but you just got. I agree. It's just unnecessary.
Yeah,
I reckon there's no difference. I finished 6th this week, and I finished 15th. There's no difference in the
No.
pace. So there's no. I mean, obviously,
it's good to know that you can go.
You
up and
always
do
want to
it.
run where the best you can, but you got to sometimes count the cost.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. It's just man, I'm just like, man, y'all are something else. So with that said, if anybody wants a legend car, mine's for sale. I think I know where about 3 of them are actually. If anybody wants a legend car, the one I drive, the Lucky Penny, it is for sale. The one Connor has been driving, it is for sale. And our buddy Matt Grantham's there, his is for sale. So we'll give you some good deals on some legend cars. We love running them. Running them.
It was still fun.
Yeah,
when it's green flag, it's fun.
so much. They're so much fun to drive. They are, and
we've had some awesome races.
we have. But that's the thing is, me and you can get out there, and we've done it. I don't know how many times, and ran side by side for multiple laps, and never touch each other. I think the one time we did, it was just. One time we touched each other. Even it was just one of them was like, that was by accident.
Yeah.
You know?
And it was so minuscule, it hardly
Exactly.
affected us. You know?
Exactly. But for whatever reason, these other guys can't drive like that. They want to go out there and just tear stuff all to pieces. And I'm not about that. I'm just, I don't know. I ain't condoning anything by no means, but
it's the driver's fault.
it is the driver's
put it on.
fault. It is the driver's fault. Like I said, I'm not condoning anything, but I'm too old for it myself. But when I was the age of a lot of these boys out there is running, 13, 14, 15, when I was running go-karts at that age, even then, we didn't put up with somebody tearing up your stuff. I'm not condoning anything, but you went down there and you made sure they wasn't going to do it again. I put it that way. So, but I can't do that anymore. So, I don't know. It's a different world. They teach them to drive completely different than the way we grew up. I know the way you grew, because I know your dad isn't going to do that. Your granddaddy wasn't going to let you drive like that. And just you, in general, you're not that type of person. You don't go in there and do that. But I'm like, some of y'all boys are born apparently without a conscience at all.
I don't like to wreck,
I don't either. Y'all have no feeling in y'all's body, because I'm going to tell you what, you go in there and hit somebody like that.
I rarely sell it off when I think I'm going to wreck,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's something else. So, anyway, it's fun. It's all good. All well and good. And I don't know. We'll go from there and see what else we got. And we had some more racing. Matt said he felt bad for Dennis because Matt dumped him. On accident, because we had a rain shower in the first race.
I almost got caught out because I had parked mine in the trailer, and they must have told them they were getting going, because I started getting ready as soon as they said it over the intercom, and I was like scrambling to get out there.
Yeah, because y'all didn't have car covers, so y'all parked them on a tent down there. But the shower went over, it dried track off, but Matt went down in 3 and 4, and he was under Dennis, and he said it just felt like he hit some water or something, because it did. It just all of a sudden was down at the bottom, and it just went straight. And Dennis was right there above him, and jump wheels. And,
oh gosh,
it was bad. So, but anyway, it's all good. It's it's fun. It's all well and good, and I don't know. But congratulations on your win there, Connor.
Thank you.
I know there'll be a lot more coming now, because maybe got a good feeling.
I think we got. Yeah, I think we do.
Because I know you've been fighting with it for
it's been
2 years now, pretty much.
Yeah, it's been very inconsistent. So hopefully we can hammer it down and
Got
get
some
back
motors
to speed.
back. Now. Got them running good. So anyway, let's take just a second here.
Chicken Bone Alley is brought to you by SRI Performance. They are your one-stop shop for all things racing. Do you need performance parts? Look no further. They offer a wide range of high-performance parts for various types of racing, including stock car racing, dirt racing, and more. SRI Performance also has the most knowledgeable employees in the industry. If you're looking for that hard-to-find part, they've got it. And if you're wondering how to make it work on your car, they know it. Check them out online at www.sriperformance.com. And when you do, Don't forget to use the promo code CBONE10. That's C as in chicken, BONE10, and get 10% off at checkout. Stock Car Steel and Aluminum is a full-line steel service center stocking thousands of sizes, shapes, grades, and types of metals and plastic. If you need it, they have it. And if not, they work fast to find what you need and get it to you. Stock Car Steel and Aluminum also has the ability to cut orders to your specifications as requested. Their dedicated team not only brings many years of experience to the table, but they are always ready and willing to lend a hand with anything you may need. Stock Car Steel and Aluminum. Your material needs are covered here.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate our good friends over at Stock Car Steel and Aluminum and SRI Performance. Also, our good friends at Profab Headers and Exhaust, guys. If you're in the market for a new set of exhausts for your car, apparently Connor's just falling apart.
Yeah, we thought the patchwork would last, and it broke somewhere else. So.
Did it break again?
Well, no, we already had a hole welded up. We had patched it up to get it through this week, and it broke somewhere else. So,
well, we might have to give Andy a call up at Profab Headers and Exhaust and get something new on there. You guys head over there. I don't care what you're in the market for. Any type of anything really. Go check out Profab Headers and Exhaust. They got all the exhaust you need because they are quality that wins. And they say that because they do. They win all the time. Every week, there's always somewhere that with somebody with Profab Headers and Exhaust that are sitting in victory lane. So y'all go check out Profab Headers and Exhaust. Also, Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Guys, Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Anything you need for any type of car out there, any type of V8, we'll say. And I've seen some other stuff he's building, even, custom hot rod stuff that he's building. And, man, it's just, Earl do anything. Earl build anything, any kind of motor. Just let y'all know, he even builds some airplane engines. Pretty cool stuff, too.
Oh, wow.
So y'all head over to Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Get yourself some time on that chassis dyno and get all the things you need on there that make things go fast. Go check them out. So, I guess that brings us to this past weekend. Had a lot more racing. One thing that I checked out a good bit over the weekend was the World 100 there at Eldora. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite races every year. This one was a little special to a lot of people because they also held Scott Bloomquist his memorial service there on Saturday before the race.
Oh wow!
Kind of midday, and it was a really good service. Had Mark Richards from Rocket Chassis, which everybody thought they were just huge competitors and everything. No, they really. I mean, they were competitors. But that just tells you type person Scott was, and a man like Mark Richards wanted to come, or was one of the first to ask to speak at his memorial service. So it's really cool. Also, Dale McDowell spoke. Then Ariel Bloomquist, Scott's daughter, came up and she kind of really organized the majority of it, and it was great to see her out at the track. Had to be odd for her to be out there and her dad not there. Knowing how many times he's won that race and how many times he's attempted that race and everything else. So I don't know. I mean, it was something else. It was more power to her and well wishes for her. And then before the it was a really good show. Then before the race, for the main there, Ariel rode in the two-seater car that they ended up wrapping like one of Scott's cars that everybody liked, the green and white and black that they had done. She rode in the passenger seat, and then Tony Stewart drove they had a tribute car out there, and Tony Stewart drove it before the race, just kind of a pace car.
Yeah.
Then he kind of, they say he didn't even have a helmet on or anything, and all of a sudden he takes off with it for a lap and just ripping it around there, which he needed to, and it was really good. Prelim nights looked like Superman. Jonathan Davenport was kind of going to kill everybody over the weekend. I mean, he was just fast, super fast, as he always is, and he's won many races at Eldora, so kind of thought he was going to be the man to beat. But that Saturday night 100-lap feature is always, something else. I mean, you might run great on the 25-lap race or 20-lap race or something like that, but that 100-lap race is just, it's another element, I guess. And everybody wanted Dale McDowell, to win. I mean, that was just kind of Dale driving a Team Zero car, and it was just kind of the sentimental storybook, whatever. And 10 laps, I think it was around 10 laps to go, Dale was running second. He qualified pole and sitting up front and had a fast car. He saved tires a little bit. About 10 to go, he comes up there and passes everybody, takes the lead. And then they come upon some lap traffic, and when it did, Bobby Pierce was riding second, Jonathan Davenport in third at that point. Come upon some lap traffic, and it looked like Tanner. A lot of people are blaming Tanner English. They're like, "Oh, he stopped Dale, messed him up." Look, a couple things out there if y'all don't know it about dirt racing. One, those guys don't have radios in the car. Two, at Eldora now, and I think over Lucas Oil, and I know at just Eldora. I don't know all the other, but at Eldora now, you cannot have a stick guy in the car. Used to have people out there with lighted sticks, telling them how far or anything.
Wow, really?
They can't have any sort.
I know. I thought some of those races had radios. I knew your kind of weekly show didn't, but they don't have radios either.
No, they don't have it. They have a receiver. The tower's talking to them, and that's all.
Yeah.
But tower doesn't tell them.
Yeah, they say caution or
that's pretty much it.
Whatever.
Tell them
get them in order. Yeah.
That's it. I know like some Bandolero stuff now.
Yeah, I've done that before.
They'll tell them if there's lap cars. They'll tell them leaders are coming sometimes, but they don't tell them that.
No, I should have said they don't tell the
they don't say
drivers
nothing.
in the World 100 that.
So Tanner was down there fighting for a position with somebody else. I can't remember who. And a lot of people just blame Tanner. It was like, he got in Dale's way. I'm like, this dude had no clue Dale was behind him. He had no clue at all. So I don't blame him. But Dale said after the race, he said that he tried to move up because Bobby Pierce all of a sudden just shot back by on the top. I mean, banging boards, hitting the wall. I mean, just looked like Ross Chastain out there just ripping the fence out there. And Bobby took that high side and won. Dale come back there on the last lap, and I thought he was going to catch him out of 4 and pass him. But Dale said, I couldn't get out of the middle. He said, I tried to run up top, and the car was just too free to run up top. And so he said that's all he had. So anyway, congratulations to Bobby Pierce. It was a good race, really good race. I get the sentiment because I was pulling for Dale too. I like Dale. We've had him on the show before. Super nice guy, and he got out and never had any crossword about Tanner, which Dale never does. Dale's probably one of the nicest guys you will ever meet in the pits at any racing event. He just never has a bad word for anybody. Our buddy Will Harrington got talked jumping about by our other friend Chris Madden. Madden was mad with Will. Man, it was they got together and took Chris out, and I don't know. I saw it. I didn't really. I mean, it was a racing thing. I'm gonna tell you what. And I mean, I get them guys are mad. I get it 100%. And I know they're professionals at it and they do it all the time. But I'm going to tell you what, things happen fast enough in an asphalt late model, Charger division that we're running. Do you know how much faster they happen in a dirt super late model?
And you're sideways. And
exactly.
You don't just hit the brakes. You hit the brakes, it jumps out even more sideways.
Exactly. That's what I was telling my dad the other night. I said, look, I said, what do we typically run? And I said, what was Connor running in Charger car the other night? He said, what were you running, like high
lap times?
Yeah.
1780s,
1780s,
90s,
90s, 18. I just said around 18 seconds. They were turning, and Dillon is a 0.4 of a mile asphalt track, obviously. Eldora is a half-mile dirt track.
And Eldora looks a whole lot bigger than Dillon.
I promise you, standing in the pits,
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, it's a lot bigger than Dillon. Whole lot bigger. They were qualified, I think, 1480s.
It's insane.
3
Just ripping.
seconds faster
Yeah.
and 1/10 of a mile longer, at least.
Yeah.
I think it's more than that. That's insane. I mean, you just think about that. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I mean, they probably don't hardly dip below 100.
No.
Even in the corners, do they? Yeah.
no, not when the track's a little.
Yeah, I'm sure when
damp.
it gets real slick, it looks like they have to slow down a good
Yeah,
bit.
when it slicks off, they slow down. They do slow down some, but when that track's
still,
got a little
yeah.
bit of tack to it, and they can bite on that right rear and drive it, man, it's just they're flying. They don't let off. I mean, it's barely burp the gas going in the corner just to set the car and just back wide open again. It's insane. I love some dirt late models. I swear I do. I love watching them. But no, Bobby Pierce, I'm going to tell you what, and everybody knows it. People talk junk about him. I don't know why. I guess just everybody's got to have their favorite, and they hate everybody else. And I'm going to tell you what, the fan passion in dirt late models is strong.
I heard it was the biggest crowd they've ever had at Eldora.
That's what
I
I
saw.
fixed to
It
say.
was pretty crowded.
Somebody was like, why won't they come out with a number? I'm like, they probably don't want the government to know that number that was there because it probably wasn't legal. Because, they said it was the largest crowd ever at Eldora. That's
And you know they've had some.
Now, I'm going to tell you what, me and Sterling were there in had to be 21. Yeah, it was 21. At the Dream in 21. And it wasn't nowhere near the number that they got this past week, and that place was packed.
Yeah.
The campground, when you realize it didn't track because there's a lot of people at track, but I mean we're used to seeing Darlington, something like that, big crowd, whatever. When you realize it is when you walk out the track and walk to the campground, because out there it's just fields, it's flat, just fields everywhere. There's campers as far as you can see.
Yeah.
It ain't like Darlington or something like that where there's a field over here.
Yeah.
It's got camper. Oh no, it's just everywhere you look, as far as you can see, is campers. It's just like, man, there's so many people here, and they make it a whole week event. I mean, it reminds you, I guess, myself anyway, and like a bike rally. Like go to Myrtle Beach during Bike Week or something like that. Because it's that type of event. They're there from Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday to they leave back out on Sunday. I mean, it is cool people just having a blast. And our buddies, Dirty Grass Soul, was playing there on the SRI stage, the SRI fan jam they had there on, I think that was Thursday night or Friday night. I can't remember. So much going on there. And I will say, there's a buddy of mine at church. He's like, man, I want to go to Eldora one time. I want to go there. I said, let's go. I said, we'll go next year, Farley.
Yeah. You're thinking about it. They got the Eldora Million, World 100. I mean, there's
so much.
Probably 10 big races a year that would be worth going.
The Dream, the World, either one. I haven't ever been to the World, but I'd love to go to the World. But it's not the highest. The Dream pays more. But the World's more prestigious for whatever reason. I mean, it was the original big race at Eldora, and it's just grown bigger and bigger and bigger. Let's go. So I don't know. Some other stuff we got to talk about real quick before we get to NASCAR stuff, I reckon. For 2 weeks now, our Gamecocks have played football.
Right. Yeah.
At least 1 week they played football.
Yeah, I was there in the Old Dominion game, and it was
they didn't play much that game.
Oh my goodness, incredible! The first play or the second play of the game, we intercepted the ball and got on the 5-yard line, and then scored a couple plays later. I was like, okay,
here we go.
Yeah, that'll be good. Be nice little win.
Didn't work out. I mean, won.
It was
won, but
great day.
it didn't look
stressful.
good.
No,
It didn't look good at
terrible.
all. And I told somebody this last night, actually, because we were talking about it. They were a Clemson fan. I said, look, I don't care who Carolina plays, who South Carolina plays. South Carolina, for all you people. We call them Carolina here, too. Because I know some of the people in North Carolina, they can say Carolina. They thinking you're talking about North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we talking about South Carolina, the real one.
Right.
But I said, look, I don't care who we play. We're going to play them to their level.
We've always played up and down to our competition.
Exactly.
Every time.
I said we could go, and we've done it. I said we could go play Alabama and beat them. Years ago, we beat Alabama when they were ranked number 1, and then turn around like the next week or something, I think then, and lost to Kentucky, who was way down here.
Shoot, I mean, the only good year we've had recently, that one year in the Muschamp where they won 9 games,
Yeah.
and won the Outback Bowl, they had to beat Louisiana Tech on a last-second field goal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen.
It
I mean, it's not an indication of how good they are because they're always going to do it.
Yeah, that's
They're
what I
always
tell
gonna play up
anybody.
in it.
I'm like, I don't judge how good the team is off of any one game because they're just playing to that level.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something else. Clemson got their tail handed to them by Georgia, but yet they want to join the SEC.
They had the same problem we had. They just didn't have any offense.
No, they
I
don't.
mean, their defense kept them in it for the first part, but you're going to get wore down eventually.
Yes, big time. Me and somebody was talking about it yesterday also, and I'm one of these people. I am for and against this NIL stuff.
Yeah.
Both. I am for NIL to the point of the whole reason this NIL stuff came along. I don't know if anybody remembers it. Was basically because they wanted to make another video game. That was the whole reason, and the only way they could do it and actually put people's names in it and update the game yearly to put names in it from that season. People were saying, "I was like, okay, but you're gonna pay me for my likeness, my name and likeness." Name, image, and likeness. That's what NIL stands for, and that was why it started. Well, then I was like, okay, what are we gonna do for that? We can bring in all that has grown to now.
There needs to be a cap, I guess. I don't know. It's such a difficult issue. You can't. There's so much that
I think it needs to be. This is my thought. I think the only way, there's 2 ways you're going to fix it. One, have no singular NIL deals. The NIL deal is through the team. Everybody on the team gets paid. Not this multi-millions, because I don't think, I personally, now, I think these boys are over 18 years old, and I think they do deserve to get paid.
Yeah, they're making the university
a ton of money.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I agree 100%. But I personally think at the college level, I think everybody on the team, maybe you get paid by if you're, your string or something like that. I don't know that way. I could get that. I could get behind that if they want to, but I think everybody needs a similar amount. Second thing, I personally think if you take NIL money, there needs to be a 2-year contract with that school on it.
Yeah.
Because right now it's a free-for-all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, South Carolina's got that true freshman Dylan Stewart who's a beast. I'm scared to death who's going to go to the highest bidder next year.
I've also heard that about our quarterback, who is a Florence native right now, right here. I've also heard he's already looking, just because he doesn't feel like, and I can understand it. He don't feel like he's got receivers around him that's gonna make him
don't
look
have a
good
receiver. You don't have a great line.
Yeah, it's not going to help him look good. So I can
That'd be tough.
I can understand it, but man, it's just like they're just taking whoever. All right, you gonna let me start? All right, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna try to get somewhere else, but I'm gonna go there.
Not even that. I mean, South Carolina has had starters, people who will play every snap and transfer away.
Oh yeah,
because they get a higher. They transfer to Oregon or Florida State. You could just pay them more.
That's all it is.
So I'm hoping, man. I'm praying.
I just feel like
we can keep him because he is the real deal.
Dabo Sweeney is really. I mean, he's catching up with it, and they will catch up with it. But he really got behind on it. He didn't want to pay nobody.
Yeah. And I agree. I mean, I like the way he does it. I'm a Carolina fan. I don't like Dabo, but like I like the guys that we recruit and stick around. Yep. We're not going to go get the transfer and just replace them immediately.
That's right.
But I just don't know if you can do it that way anymore. I just don't know if the times might be fast, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But hey, at least the Gamecocks look good this week, so
I
hope they can ball it up. And
we went out and played Kentucky, and
Kentucky's not a top 5 SEC team.
Second half looked pretty good.
Yeah.
First half was kind of dicey there for a little while, but second half looked great.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's not. We didn't beat Georgia, but I didn't think we were going to win that game. If you'd asked me before, I didn't think we were going to win. I was hoping we'd keep it close, to be honest.
Well, normally Kentucky as a team, I don't care what year it is, it's like we are similar to Kentucky normally. I don't know why that is, but we play similarly to Kentucky. And Kentucky normally isn't this early in the year. Normally they're 5 games deeper. So, but we normally know it's like when we go play Kentucky, it's like, all right, this is really going to tell us how we are this year. And so I don't know if playing them earlier in the year is a bad thing or not.
It was a must-win game because you look down the road and you see LSU and Texas A&M and Alabama and people come. You needed to win that one.
Yeah,
which was good.
So, what you think about going into LSU? How you feel like?
Hey, college game day will be in Columbia. It'll be a lot of hype. I mean, if we get it. I'm just hoping we put on a good show. I don't know.
We'll play to that level.
I hope so. And if we do win, we play Akron the next week and then a bye week. You go into the bye week 4-0. But I don't know. It'll be tough.
How about all you Florida State fans out there? Y'all still Florida State fans? They needed a bye week this past week. They had one earlier, and they needed it.
I don't know what the hype around DJ was. I don't think he was. I mean. I don't know. He might have had a better year at Oregon State year before, but I mean, he was had to play good for a long time to overcome some of his stuff.
Yep. But they look bad.
Oh yeah,
bad.
I mean, they lost to Boston College, who's really ain't that good.
And then what was it this week? Notre Dame got beat by
Northern Illinois.
And the bad thing is Notre Dame. What was it I heard? Notre Dame paid them to come play them.
$1 million plus,
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
So you paid them to lose. Ooh, that's bad. Now, I will say, this whole transfer portal and NIL stuff, it's really shaking up the scene, I guess, of who's good, who's not.
Yeah.
Obviously, Georgia's still right there, and I think they will be. I don't think we're gonna have a repeat national championship this year.
Texas beat down Michigan Saturday. So, hey, I'm glad it's back. I love college football. Probably my second favorite sport behind racing. So
there's a Gamecock right there.
Yeah,
Jackson Hicks, go Gamecocks. He's going to USC this year.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
sweet.
He's Gamecock. So, anyway, guys, want to thank our good friends over at RevMax Racing. Connor got a suit.
Yep, got a suit and got a win.
Got a suit, got a win. That thing looks good too.
Yeah, it does. Good. It's a nice suit.
How's it fit?
Fits good and comfortable and looks good as well. So.
Can't ask for anything more.
Nope.
So head over to RevMax Racing, guys. RevMax Racing apparel. They got everything you need. Multi-layer fire suits, obviously. Also have your single-layer suits for you karting guys. If that's what you in the market for, they got it. So head over to RevMax Racing Apparel to check them out. Also, Dixie Made right here in Florence, South Carolina. I hope some of you all stopped in and checked them out while you were in town for Darlington. Got some of the best clothing brands you can find, everything else. Head over to RevMax. Head over to Dixie Made. I'm still stuck back there. Head over to Dixie Made on Instagram, Facebook, all those good things. Check out everything they got, head to toe. You'll love it. You'll love it. Also, Fresh Chef. Fresh Chef, you're up in the Race City area of North Carolina. Mooresville, Concord, right over there in Conover, which is close to Hickory. Anywhere around there, head over to a Fresh Chef. You'll find them everywhere. Just look them up, Google them. You'll find them. I promise you. You'll love it too. It's good food, good food. Daily drink and food specials on hand, and go tell them we sent you up there to them. Also, our good friends up here at MPM Marketing, www.marketwithmpm, as you see right there on the wall there behind Connor. So y'all head over there to talk with Tanya. If you're in this racing game, you got to have good people behind you, and they are the best to have behind you in the marketing world. So head over to marketwithmpm.com. Get started with them today. All right, so I guess we've made it up to some NASCAR action at Hot Atlanta this past week, first round of the playoffs. Before we get into that, there was a lot of other news, and I don't know, maybe I'm just weird like this. I heard somebody from NASCAR talking about, I know fans don't really care about the business side of NASCAR and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I do. Well, I ain't saying I care about it necessarily, but I'm interested in it. Mm-hmm. The conversations and what's going on are always interesting to me. I mean, I don't know.
Like about the charters and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, do you kind of get into that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like,
I mean, just
you want to hear about what's going on with it and everything? All right. Word on the street is basically NASCAR gave the teams kind of a, I guess just in talks or whatever, okay, we'll do this, blah, blah, blah. Teams come together like last week, talked about it. Didn't sound like they liked all of it.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like to me. Well, on Friday of this past week, NASCAR sent a 105-page document, which was the charter agreement for 2025 and through whatever, however long it is, 7-year agreement or something like that, I think it is. Sent it to the teams. And from what I hear, I'm not, just putting this in layman terms. Basically, they said this to them, said either sign this or we will take your charter. You will not have a charter in 2025. Gave it to them at 5 p.m., told them it was to be signed no later than midnight that same day. A 105-page document for them to go through. And what I gathered, or what actually happened, all but 2 teams signed it. And 2 teams were 23XI and Front Row. I don't know. I'm like, what do you do now? What?
Yeah, I didn't know
because Front Row, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to dog on you by no means. Yeah, Ford don't want you to go anywhere. They got good backing by Ford now. And so, with that being said, NASCAR don't want them to go anywhere.
Yeah, they've been around for a while now.
Right, they've been around for a while. But 23XI, NASCAR does not want Michael Jordan going anywhere.
They love having him.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, he's the biggest name in sports in the world.
I mean,
and he's at the track all the time.
They're at Darlington.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What's your take on that?
But I feel like
I don't either.
NASCAR's got to figure something out. I think for too long, for what I've seen from clips and interviews and with Hendrick and all the owners, that the teams. I mean, they say Hendrick hasn't made money in years.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to have made some, but I don't.
The team probably.
The numbers still don't make sense to me. I don't see where a lot of these teams make enough money.
Well, from what listening to Denny Hamlin. Now this is just listening to him. and I can't blame him on this because we want the same thing. What he basically said is they want to be able to fund a car off of the weekly purse, as far as running that car. You know, pay their tire bill, pay their fuel bill, pay the help that comes through track with them that weekend. You know, that car needs to be funded off of the purse. And then their sponsorships is their profit, basically. And the reason, and I'm like, that would be a good thing. And the reason that would be a good thing, because we know it as well as anybody else, there's a pile of them in the sport right now that I'm not saying they don't have talent, but they got a bigger check than they got talent.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why they're there. There's a lot
They have
that are
to fund it, you know?
Exactly.
Even if the teams would say, you know, hey, we want Matt Benedetto to drive, but we got to stay open too. You know?
Exactly. And I mean, I understand it. And so if you put the purse or the charter money or whatever it is, that money funds the car, they can go back to a team worrying about sponsors, team worrying about everything else. Let's pull in the best talent. That's where I tell fans, I'm like, you should be worried about this charter stuff, because the sport that we love watching, you know, we all know right now it's not that there's some good talent. I think probably Kyle Larson is probably, in my opinion, Kyle Larson is probably the most talented race car driver on earth right now. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick. In my opinion, those right now, well, Kyle Busch, you know, I still think he is very talented.
He's not getting results past prime,
exactly. He's not getting results. But regardless, right now, I think Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick are probably two of the best drivers out there right now. I think I'm not, and he's losing his ride, so I'm not trying to talk junk about him, but let's just say Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton has talent. I believe he does. He ran great in the Truck Series, ran great in the Xfinity Series, stuff like that. He got the Cup. A team that was solely funded, I mean, and I'm not talking junk about him, after the dismal first year he had, wouldn't stick around for another one, but he had backing coming behind him. He was good enough with the sponsors. Mm-hmm. Sponsors like, yeah, we're sticking with you. So they're going to keep him in the car. Apparently that fell off this year, and that's why he's out. I mean, we all know that. But I don't know. I just feel like we need to be behind these teams. And in all, me and Sterling were talking about this the other day. We were at church talking about it. I think the teams feel like, and I get it. Let's use Hendrick for example. NASCAR brought this to Hendrick, and you either sign it or we're taking your charters. Are they?
Yeah.
Are they going to take them?
You want to take Hendrick's charters?
Well, not even that. If you take, if nobody was to sign that thing, be like, no, we're not signing this. Take them. NASCAR's going to back down quick. No, let's work this out. Because guess what? If those cars don't show up to the track,
you don't have a race to
they ain't got a show. They ain't getting no money from nobody at that point. So I'm like, man, I wish all your teams would stick together. And I ain't saying be unfair to NASCAR. I'm not saying that. But it's like I told somebody the other day. I was like, you know, as far as NASCAR, just to say NASCAR as an entity itself. Yes, they have some infrastructure for certain things. They have some stages. They have some trucks. But what is NASCAR? What is NASCAR? It's a name. Mm-hmm. It's a series. You know, that's what it is. It's a series. It's a name. As far as it may be a company that's worth billions of dollars, but it's really not anything. It's a name. Well, if Michael Jordan said, I'm not doing it, I'm starting Michael Jordan's Cup Series. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, so in my opinion, these teams have the upper hand on NASCAR. And like I said, I'm not saying be unfair to NASCAR, but they need to be fair to the teams too. I heard what it basically in the last Denny Hamlin, I think it was, said. I can't remember. And I could be a little bit wrong on these figures, but they're close. Basically, everything revolves around the TV contract. Broadcast.
Oh, yeah, that's where the money is.
Yeah, that's where all the money is. Basically, it said, if I got the number right, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, NASCAR gets 59% of that themselves. The rest of it basically is split up between all the teams and the tracks. And so I was kind of like the same thing. I'm like, you got to pay teams.
Oh, yeah.
You got to pay teams. If you're not paying teams, you're not going to have a show. Why do you, like you said, Hendrick said they haven't haven't made any money.
Yeah. I don't know if that's 100% true, but
well, it's probably true. But I promise you, in that Jeff Gordon, Rick Hendrick, Chad Knaus, all the top dogs there, they got a good salary.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The company itself may have broke even, but that looks good on taxes.
Yeah,
that looks great on tax. Well, we didn't make anything. We didn't lose anything. We didn't make anything. Okay, we don't have to pay any taxes this year. Looks great.
I understand that's not. You don't run a business like that.
No, you can't survive in a business that long. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. I want to see what happens.
I just hope they get it figured out because the sport's actually got some momentum now.
They're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
They're going to.
I know.
And my thing is now, and Jeff Gluck and Jordan Bianchi were talking about this. You know, okay, if everybody else signed the agreement, all but these two teams, what are they going to do? They're going to hold out for a better agreement for themselves?
I don't think they can do that.
I think they can. I think NASCAR, because other ones signed this agreement already. That's their agreement. I hate it for them, but I got a feeling they're probably going to come to terms with 2311.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're not going
to let them out the sport. I mean, not just let them. They're not just going to watch them walk away from it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they probably going to come up and, all right, we're going to give you this. Here you go. Here's your contract. And then there's going to be some teams mad.
That's what I'm saying. They're not going to like that.
They're not going to like it, but that's how it is right now. I didn't know that, but that's how it is right now. Each team has their own individual contract. It's not just a blanket contract.
Really?
But that's what they're wanting. NASCAR wants a blanket contract. And I feel like there should be a blanket contract over everybody. I don't know. Who knows? I think it's going to be fun and interesting to see. I'm trying to think if there any other news. Not that I know of. Nothing spectacular that has jumped out. Other than Martin Truex, who is retiring this year, did announce, he's running Daytona 500.
Nah, they always do that.
Cole Pern's going to be his crew chief.
Oh, really? Coming back
to be his crew chief for that race. He's going to run, I think he said he's going to run number 78. Cool. 423.11.
Yeah. Oh, okay. There you go.
Well, it's Gibbs.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. So,
sweet.
That'd be cool to see. That'd probably be the one race he comes back and wins.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, anyway, Atlanta this past weekend. Speaking of Denny Hamlin, did you see he was 2 seconds
I saw it
off in qualifying? I didn't know it till today, but he said when he went out, he was getting on his up speed lap and he heard something pop, he said. And they come in and found that a spark plug wire had come off. But he still had no speed in the race.
Yeah. I'm be honest, I didn't watch a whole lot of Atlanta at all.
I watched
this week.
a little bit, and I was
impressed, and I had flipped back and forth between some football games, and I had it set to record the last 50 laps. I thought I clicked off for it saved, because I didn't.
I think Atlanta's about to be it's about to turn to a track nobody likes.
Just you gotta.
It had so much.
I like super speedways, but it's in moderation. I don't. I don't like them all. The same thing with road courses. Everybody liked road courses, and then all of a sudden they'd put 7 of them on a schedule, and it's like, you know, you got that's good, but we just had Daytona a couple weeks ago, and now we're going to have Talladega 4 or 5 more weeks. They don't excite me anymore.
But I got a feeling, and this happens some, especially towards the end of the race, when tires wearing out, because tires are coming into play. It still is a drafting type track, but they're getting spread out. In the Xfinity race, they really spread out.
The Xfinity race, a little bit I watched that.
It was not.
Couldn't watch.
Austin Hill won it. That's like 4 in a row, I think, for him in Atlanta. Man, I don't know. It's
need to just let them run unrestricted.
I think that's what they need to go back to. I think that's going to be how they have to fix that race, because
it might be a good race.
It is losing grip.
Yeah,
and so they're not able to, like when they go in a corner, the car that's pushing in the draft. A lot of time, they got to back off. They lose the nose, and it's shoving up track like a typical 1.5 mile track. So unrestricted may be a pretty good race.
I'd be down to see that.
They're running way faster at Michigan.
Yeah, and even if it's not that great of a race, I'd rather watch it than Super Speedway.
Yeah, me too. Joey Logano ended up winning in this first round of the playoffs. Before we, now I know we're kind of a week into it already, but it's kind of shook up right now because of some wrecks and stuff like that. In this first round, Connor, who do you see the first 4 out? Who do you think?
Well, it's gonna be hard to not know what. All right, we're gonna say post Atlanta.
Well, just now, might as well, because
I think Burton's got to be out. I think he's just in too big of a hole. I think Cindric had a lot of stage points yesterday, though.
He did.
I don't think Truex makes it out. I think he's good. I just think he's just not good right now.
He's just not consistent.
Yes, he's had a couple bad races. I think he'll rebound, but it's gonna be too late.
Yeah.
So I'll say Burton. I said Truex. Let's see. I think now that Briscoe wrecked, I think he's gonna be out. So that's 3. I say Bowman's probably the 4th.
Bowman.
Only reason because
Bowman had a pretty good run going yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm I could be wrong.
He's not. You know, he was worried. Well, say he was worried about it. Apparently, he wasn't worried about it, but apparently the rumor started that he was going to lose his ride.
Yeah, I heard him address that.
Yeah, he said in the middle of media day, he called Jeff Gordon to make sure there wasn't something going on that he hadn't heard about. Let's see. I'm with you on most of that. I'm going to say Briscoe is out. Harrison Burton out. I know Daniel Suarez had a really good run yesterday.
Yeah. I'm making on him running decent at the road course. But
right.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he can. I don't know. And he may run really good in it, but I don't see him going too far.
He was my last one in probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's out. I'm gonna put Truex in, him out. Who else was back there? I don't know. I might have to go with Joe Bowman. Bowman just hadn't been consistent enough this year for me.
Just forget he's out there.
I know. It's just like he's just there running 15th to 20th every week. And I mean, he's actually was good in points because he ran 15th to 20th every week. And he didn't go up much, he didn't go down much, and then got a win. So, anyway, I really thought before this weekend, I would have said Joey Logano would be out just because he'd been so inconsistent all year. But he snuck out a win, and man, to me yesterday that track, whoever got the lead was just they were the guy.
Yeah, Super Speedway racing I don't know. It's just too much of it, you know.
It is, but the difference is, I think, with Super Speedway racing, take Daytona and Talladega. Man, you liable to have 3 and 4 wide racing. At Atlanta, you don't get much over 2 wide.
And they put on a race or two that was good there.
It did because it had a ton of grip
Yeah.
after repave. But now you're not going to run much more than 2 wide for multiple laps.
I'm afraid for too long you're not going to be able to do that.
Exactly. And so it's easy to block a 2 wide pack. I mean, you back one lane, back.
And it's hard to like. The little bit I watched, I saw Kyle Busch was kind of up there in the mix, but you couldn't really go
Couldn't
forward.
go nowhere. Couldn't go anywhere because you couldn't get a push long enough and you couldn't push anybody long enough because you lost a nose or somebody lost a nose behind you. And it's just, and I think that track, the more it ages, the more it's going to get like that. And I think it's going to spread back out. And I don't think it's going to be necessarily a drafting
it's just
style
gonna be
track.
Like the old 550 package, pretty
Exactly.
much.
Exactly.
Wide open, but can't really get
Can't
too close.
do anything.
Yeah.
So I think Atlanta is going to either have to repave again to get grip back in it to make it exciting racing, or they need to, like you were saying, maybe after another race or two, because they're not going to do it right now because it still be too fast. But after another race or two,
I don't see why not.
open the package up, put them back on the big package. I don't know. Do know.
And it's so steeply banked, you might get them running kind of up by the wall and by the bottom. So
Yeah, you
it'd
probably
be interesting
could.
to see.
Probably could.
I'd like to see him at least test it one time.
Oh yeah,
see what
for
it'll
sure.
do.
For sure. Schedule came out. That was one bit of news. We kind of predicted with the Mexico City thing. We talked about that. I'm not impressed by that. It's like I told a NASCAR official, I got a big wig with NASCAR. He was at Florence Motor Speedway, and he asked me point blank what I thought about the schedule. I was like, ooh, you really want to ask me that? He said, I want you to be truthful with me. I was like, all right. And I flat out told him, I said, I get what they're trying to do with Mexico City. I said, in the first year, I said, it's going to be huge. I said, it's going to be, people going to come out the woodworks down there for Daniel Suarez.
Yeah.
I personally think that's the whole reason Daniel Suarez still has a ride, because they knew they were going to Mexico City. And NASCAR might have said, hey, we really need him in a car.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I hate the Roval. Why is the Roval still on the schedule? It's beyond me. Especially with how good the racing is at Charlotte.
I agree.
On the Oval.
I agree.
I don't get it.
I agree.
I don't understand that move at all.
But you know what? I could deal with the Roval if we quit and I told him this. I was like, why is the championship race still at Phoenix? I said, that is the worst race. I mean, in my opinion, I think
it should be at Charlotte. I mean,
that would be
it's
fine
in
with me.
NASCAR's backyard and it puts on a pretty good race.
That'd be fine with me. It needs. If it were a perfect world, and for me, it would move around every year.
Yeah,
Be somewhere different every year. Be Charlotte, be at Darlington, I know it sounds crazy, but just, you have a year, it'd be at Daytona, it'd be at, which would be crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be crazy, but if every track just got it, I mean, even once in a while, it'd be on a road course.
The thing I don't understand is why is it not a championship round?
I don't like that.
No, if you're going to be like sticking ball sports where you got to play, you don't have a 7-game series in the divisional round and the World Series is one game. That's not.
I mean, the only thing they're comparing to there is football, NFL.
Yeah. But even football is one game each. Well, you don't have a round of 3 and then one race.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it can't be like,
I think
Bristol. If you want to put Phoenix on there and then Charlotte, so you got a mile, and a mile and a half. You know.
Yep.
And I feel like you kind of build up. I feel like championship forward, you don't get much build up because it's
1 week.
Yeah. I feel like you kind of talk about it, but whatever.
What I did like about the schedule is there is no Cup race on Easter weekend. Darlington moved away from Mother's Day weekend.
It did?
Yes, moved into April now. So it might be a little
It'll be early. Yeah, it'll be early. Cool deal.
There is racing on Easter weekend, but it's Friday and Saturday. And it is at Rockingham.
I wish Cup went there.
I did too, but whatever racing we can get at Rockingham, I'm good with. Me and my dad were talking about it yesterday, and I said we're probably going to try to go to one of the two at least. Probably try to go up there that Saturday. For old time's sake more than anything. So, it'd be, because we used to go up there every year. And man, I'm going to tell you what, that was the second race of the year. They came from Daytona, went to Rockingham for a while. I don't know what it was, but it was so cold. It was so cold. So a good, it's Easter weekend. I can't remember when Easter is. I don't remember if it's March or April this next year. But anyway.
Should be good weather.
Maybe.
Yeah, it might be hot.
It might be hot. It might be 40. Who knows? I love that track. I always liked that track. That was always a cool track. Racing got spread out like crazy around there. I mean, it did.
Yeah.
But I loved sitting there watching it. I don't know what it was. It was something about the banking of that track.
It's just a weird
It's a
track,
weird
you know?
shaped track. It's the banking just kind of swoops up, and they all ran out. At that point in time, they ran all the way out to the wall.
Oh, yeah. I've seen the video of Steve Park winning after,
Yes.
and he's like,
I was there when that happened, and yes, he was on the wall the whole time. It's like a D-shaped cookie cutter NASCAR track
straight
with
down
Darlington corners.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, high banking. It's cool. People slap the wall coming out too. I mean, we know on iRacing how hard that could be. I just wish the line would run like it.
You don't ever go to the top on
No,
iRacing.
you never go to the top. And I tried before, and it's slow up there. Those things. But I'm glad it's coming back. That'll be fun. I think we might have talked about it, but the Clash will be at Bowman Gray Stadium February 2nd or something like that. And
run it during the day.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, ooh, that's going to be cold. You might have a 60-degree day. You might. It's unlikely.
Yeah, you better run it during the daytime.
Yes, that's the only option.
Get the sun to help you out.
I'll bring this up on here though, and I think we might have talked about it, and I'm going to bring it up again. Maybe our buddy Ron Barfield over at Dillon Motor Speedway hear this. Can we please run around here? I personally say this is my dream season at Dillon Motor Speedway. Let's keep Florence Motor Speedway the way it is. It's good, fine, whatever. They want us to run that. They can run this too. Let's at least take Dillon Motor Speedway. Let's start up Labor Day weekend, or right around Labor Day weekend. The Labor Day race be your first race of the season. Let's run from Labor Day to Memorial Day. Take a couple weeks off there for Christmas or New Year. New Year's Bash is always a huge race. So take a week off for Christmas, then all of a sudden come back at New Year's Bash. Because, man, we have winter. Yes, we have winter, quote unquote, around here. It don't get that cold.
Not usually. No.
Not usually, and not for a long time.
I'd even be fine if you took off, December and January. You just race.
I mean, that'd be fine. Race to the New Year's Bash, take off most of December, January.
Race all of September, all of October, all of November.
Yeah.
All of March.
Yeah.
All of April. That'd be.
And then we'll take off June, July, and August.
Yeah. Maybe if you want to run one July 4th race.
Yeah, if you want to run one big race, cool. But man, let's
Some of
I
those days
am
got
so
brutal.
much more down with running on in cooler months. Because I'm gonna tell you, it's brutal out there in the heat. I can go in the trailer and get warm. We're warm in the cars. I'm not worried about that. I know people sitting in stands,
but
whatever. Yeah. But we run a show just like they ran.
You're during the daytime.
Labor Day race, just like that. We were out there just after dark. It was, racing started at 3 o'clock, I think it was, and you might could even start at 40 in the wintertime. We get there early, practice, start racing 1:30, 2 o'clock. Be gone by the time the sun goes down. Just my thought. If anybody wants to hear that out there, whatever. Oh, well. Anyway, what else we got?
I think we about covered it. There's a lot to cover this week.
We had a couple weeks to cover.
I guess Florence will be back in action this week.
Florence will. They were this past week with their first
first
night of Race Champions Night. I know Cody Kelly, I think it was, won the truck race.
Yeah.
Did he win the limited race too?
Was he the one driving it? It was him or Casey. I didn't know which one was
I'm
driving
not
it.
sure.
Whoever it was won that.
One of them Kelly boys.
Yeah.
Truett Miranda won the four
Right.
cylinders. Matt Briggs won the championship in it though. Dusty Garris won truck championship this year. Avery Lucas won the limited championship.
Oh, championship. Okay.
There's something else they had out there, and I can't remember what it was right now.
Thunder and Lightning.
Thunder and Lightning. I don't know if they had a championship.
I don't remember.
I know there was some controversy in it. Whoever won the race,
Got thrown out, didn't they? Something.
I heard they just drove from Victory Lane straight to the trailer. They didn't stop at Tech. They knew they were wrong.
Hey, that's the way to do it.
So they kind of talked junk about it. I don't know. That's just what I heard on the Facebook. So anyway. Oh well, guys. Y'all go head out. Like I said, Florence Motor Speedway is racing this weekend. I think we'll be back next weekend over at Dillon Motor Speedway. I think it is 21st. Yep, 21st we'll be back over there, which is my mom's birthday. If y'all heard that voice on the SRI and Stock Car Steel commercials, I appreciate my wife Kayla for helping me out make those. We got a few more to make finally after all these years, even though it's not a real voice, but it was her talking.
Derived from her voice.
It was derived from it. Yes, exactly. Anyway, guys, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Go check out a local racetrack. I know some of these seasons are winding down, which sometimes puts on some fun racing because these championship nights. Sometimes there's some close battles in these championships at local racetracks, and boys make it exciting out there. So y'all go check out all your local racing. And I know Cars Tour is back this week. I can't remember where. Anyway, y'all go check it out. That'd be a good. That's a close points battle. Speaking of, that's close points battle. Connor Hall and Butterbean are, I think, like 3 points.
Oh wow!
Separating 2 or 3 points separating them. So that'd be a good race to watch. Which is crazy because Butterbean missed a race
for the trucks. Yeah,
for the truck series, and he's still right there. So anyway, guys, y'all go check out some good racing, but we'll be talking with y'all next time.
Later.